Hi, this is Chef Cha-Cha Dave. Tonight I'm going to make my Pizza Labella Fusione. Sounds really impressive, doesn't it? It's the Beautiful Life Fusion Pizza. Okay? It's going to be really special. I just wanted to let everybody know that Amar is back today. He's here because I actually told him that we were going to do this shoot at 4 o'clock. But I really wasn't going to be planning on it until do at least 6 o'clock. So he thinks he's early. So, at any rate. So, we're going to start now with the dough, okay? Alright, the dough, I've already let it rise for the second time. Gave it a little punch down. Okay, and this is not going to be a real thin crust pizza. Sometimes I, shape these with my hand, throw it up in the air a little bit. This is a little bit different. It needs to have a little bit more of a foundation because there's a lot of stuff going on here. No tomato sauce. And you can look on the video, there will be all the ingredients listed, and I'm going to explain as we go along what I'm putting on, but I'm not going to just list them all in the beginning because it'll be too confusing. Also, I usually cook this, I put it on a pizza stone in the oven on a peel. I'm going to make this on a pizza pan which has a copper bottom and it has an air pocket in between. It's an excellent pan, and I need to cook this a little slower than a normal pizza because the bottom crust will get too tough and we need to get everything melted. Okay, so now we're almost there with that. I'm going to put this right on the pan. And I'm going to just push it around the sides a little bit just to make a little ridge because it keeps the oil and all the other ingredients from running over. Okay, the first thing I put on is olive oil and garlic. Looks like a lot, but it needs to be, since we're not having any sauce, we need this so that there's some moisture at the bottom. That garlic smells strong. That's a good thing. Okay, the next thing we're going to put on there is the eggplant, which I actually dry pan grilled. No oil, just a little bit of salt. Then the next thing I'm going to put on is some spinach, which I blanched, and that was actually just poured hot water over it in a colander, and it just makes it slightly limp. Okay. Now the next thing I'm going to do is put a little cheddar cheese over that. Next thing I'm going to put on is the sliced meatballs, which were sautéed and then finished in the oven. And then I put them in the fridge so that they really firmed up so that when I slice them, they hold their shape and they'll come to life once they hit the heat again. And I can really stack this up since I don't have to worry about sliding it off the peel into the oven. There have been problems years past where the pizza just finds its own place in the oven, and then you're committed to wherever it lands. You can't do anything about it. Okay, so then the next thing I'm going to put on top of here is some onions, which I have dry pan fried also. Actually, it's just more of a grilling action just to bring the sugar out of it and make it sweet. Okay, then now at this point what I'm going to do is put a little bit of oregano. I like to layer my flavors, and a little bit of basil. Okay, now on top of that we're going to put some zucchini. The zucchini is raw. And then I'm going to also just put a little oil on the top of this when I'm finished. That helps fry anything that is off of the pizza. The next thing goes on is some raw peppers. This is just a green bell pepper washed and cut in small pieces. Now I'm going to put a layer of mozzarella. And again, I like to layer everything. I'm going to put more mozzarella later on as well. Okay, now I'm putting these mushrooms. These are shiitake mushrooms. If you use regular domestic mushrooms, they're fine too. They're a little bit more tender. These have a chew to them, and it makes it very interesting when you're eating this. Okay, now I'm going to put on fresh tomatoes. And they don't have to be sliced too thin. It's starting to look pretty. Avocado. Just a half an avocado. It gives it a little bit of cream, a little creamy flavor when everything melts down. You don't really want to have the whole taste of the avocado, you just need the texture. And then we're going to put some more mozzarella cheese. You want all those things to peek through, and a little bit more cheddar. By layering the cheese like this, you get flavor all the way through the entire pie after you cut into the slices. And as you notice, I'm leaving a little bit of an edge around here. You don't want to bring it too much. This does settle down as it bakes. Okay, and the last cheese, so I'm going to put a little feta cheese on top. This has a little bit of salt to it, and also it adds another texture, and it has a creaminess to it. Then we put a little Parmesan on top of that. It's Parmigiano Reggiano. Okay. A little pepper. A little salt, because now the meatballs have salt, you don't need too much. Alright, and then we're going to put some oil around the top. A little bit more garlic. And then that will help cook the mushrooms and the tomatoes, gives it a little bit of a fry to it. And I don't always do this, but I've learned if you give the crust just a little bit of olive oil around the sides, it stays a little softer. Everybody has a different concept of what they like. Some people like a real crunchy crust, some people like a crust that's very soft. Now I'm going to put this in the oven, just this way. And what I've done is that I have a pizza stone in the oven. The oven's 425 degrees. The pizza stone is very hot. This sets in this oven on top of the racks inside, like that. And there's an airspace between the pizza stone and the oven. Right, that way the crust in the bottom won't burn. Okay, we'll be back in about 20 minutes. It should be ready. And then we'll